Holy crap, we just have a big news here. So Dexter Lawrence has requested a trade. Dexter Lawrence wants out from the New York Giants. He is not going to be part of the team's offseason program. And I didn't see this coming. We're reading here from Pro Football Talk. Lawrence has 2 more years left on his current contract, and he's set to make up to 20 million this year. Although he would forfeit a 500K bonus if he does not take part in the team's offseason workouts. Per Schefter's report, there was hopes for talks about a new deal that have not taken place. Lawrence was a 2019 first-round pick, and he's been named second-team All-Pro twice during his time with the Giants. Okay, so clearly there was a breakdown here, right? The Giants aren't willing to make the deal that he wants, and it is going to be a big problem with their defense because Dexter Lawrence is one of those best players, right? He's the guy that's plugging up the middle, and his impact can't be understated. But it seems to me that obviously with how if this was last year that we saw this, I think there'd be a lot of people that are like, well, here we go, more Giants dysfunction, right? More dysfunction with the New York Football Giants with Harbaugh in the mix and how we kind of know that Harbaugh is doing things the way he's doing things, I think that puts this in a little bit of a different perspective, right? I don't think that if John Harbaugh was like, "Look, we want this guy," that we wouldn't have these talks ongoing. There is something here in terms of Harbaugh may like Dexter Lawrence, but doesn't think maybe he's worth one of these long-term deals. Now, we'll see if this is just a negotiation, right? A negotiating tactic. Maybe there's some way here that Dexter Lawrence and the Giants come to some agreement. This is just kind of that big move by Lawrence to push, to push this thing forward. That could be the case, but I am flabbergasted. I am stunned that we're seeing this. This is certainly going to kind of pop a little bit of the hype, right? That we've seen with the Giants. You get John Harbaugh, you think, okay, things are going to be smooth sailing, or at least it's going to be a better run ship. And now you get a really big test here in the offseason, right? What does this look like? But I do think you're gonna have to look at this differently than you've looked at it in past years. We know that John Harbaugh is gonna have a lot of say in things that the GM would probably normally be kind of the boss on. It's probably more of a collaborative effort, right? That was the big storyline heading into, the whole contract situation. Harbaugh wanted more control than your average coach would get, and he got it. And so I don't think you can look at this and go, well, this is dysfunction. I think you have to look at this from Harbaugh has a plan. And clearly, if this ends up where Dexter Lawrence is traded, Harbaugh does not view Dexter Lawrence in the way that many people might have thought, right? In terms of what he looks like in the future plans. Now, another question we got to wonder is what can he get, right? What can the Giants get for Dexter Lawrence here if they do decide to go ahead and trade him? One first round pick? Probably more, right? Dexter Lawrence is one of the best at his position, and it can't be like I said, it can't be understated how good he has been for the Giants. Now, last year he wasn't quite as good, but the Giants weren't very good last year either. So we're going to be tracking this story because I didn't see this coming. I don't think anybody really saw this coming. Even if you thought, well, certainly the relationship between the Giants and Dexter Lawrence, right? Even if you thought like it was a situation where they were in some trouble, you still wouldn't look at it from this perspective, right? You still wouldn't go, oh, he's probably going to request a trade. You would think there would have been a little bit more kind of smoke before this all happened, but no, he wants out. This is the first big thing going sideways during the Harbaugh era. We'll see how the Giants respond to it. We'll see how he responds and what their decision is going forward. Thank you all for watching.